A couple of weeks later, when we were breaking down the flats that weren't being taken or used or donated or whatever.
But we had all this excess lumber. We had to get rid of it somehow. And that weekend after the film, the next week, we gathered together a few of the cast members. I ran to Home Depot and I grabbed 3 sledgehammers or small hammers, and we just had a smashing party. And we just wrecked flat after flat. And so some beautiful moments occurred.
It was a lot of fun, honestly. Like, sure, it was a pain to build them and all that, and like that was our hard work that we were tearing apart, but it was also kind of refreshing and fun, and it's fun sometimes to just, take a sledgehammer to a bunch of wood and tear it all down. It was great, coming back together with some of the crew. We made a real party of it, and it only took a couple hours to tear down all the flats.
Rubaru! Rhubarb! Woo!
No!
Let's go, room tone! Woo! Rum tum! Sorry, I ran out of names for it.
Woo! Done. No hand. You must throw it in by yourself.
3, 2, 1.
I mean, filmmaking is all smoke and mirrors a little bit, right? I mean, we build these sets and we live in these spaces for a time, and it's a great time. And then at a point, it's time to say goodbye to them and to tear it down and to, let that studio space be home for a new production. So it was a little bittersweet. I was happy to be done with it and through and now moving into post. I think Marco was a little more sentimental about it all. But we made this meme at the end of the night, or Marco did, that sort of summed it up pretty well. It was filmmaker expectations and then reality. And on the reality side was Marco sitting in the dumpster on top of his broken set. But it's not one or the other. It's a little bit of both. But there's a time and a place for everything, right? And that was the night to tear it all down and say goodbye. So when principal photography ended, the very next day, a lot of us were orientation leaders for the next incoming class. Some of us had to move, some of us were, getting books and stuff for the semester. It felt a little bit like we were all kind of scattering a little bit. I think some of us were just trying to recover physically, emotionally from principal. And then Marco and our editor, Andrew, just started hiding away in the edit bay for weeks. And I sort of let myself not hear anything for a little bit. I sort of took some time, away from the project, which was probably good. And I was taking 18 credits that fall. I needed time to get life back together again.
When I recruited Andrew into the project, him and I had very lengthy chats, gleaning from his knowledge of Biola film and other projects he had edited. And something we had discussed early on was doing a really fast turnaround on the edit, and even having rough cuts being made as we were going. So he would be syncing the film as our DIT.
Oh, I've missed these mics.
But yeah, one of my favorite parts of the pickups though was we actually got to shoot at my apartment in trade winds, which is very fun because none of my roommates were film majors, and I was like, hey guys, would you be okay if we shot here, then you could kind of see what my world is like.
And this was a truly tough shoot. We were shooting couple scenes, one that was Charles and Elizabeth's return from the camping and just seeing the landlord's interaction with Charles on the outside balcony.
Not soft sticks, but just
Where do I come on camera?
Right about there.
Right here?
Yeah.
I'll take a step in a little bit.
All right, here we go.
okay.
Sound speeds.
Camera speeds. Scene 64. Act. Take 1. Marker. Good slick. Hold focus.
You have to go inside, Selena. I'm sorry.
Go inside the door, Selena. Run.
Run, go fast. Renee K. All right, I'm set.
Here we go. Action.
Get your keys.
Not exactly.
This device.
it was great to just see Nathan again, and you know, even though the scenes were for the most part pretty downer scenes, we were still just happy to be reunited again.
Creative lighting, we had complete control of this outdoor location, but then sound was an issue. Lighting for Moonlight was great. Just got to see real fun crew moments. Jordan was able to come join us for our last day of filming.
These were also our last scenes with Nathan. Got to do all the downer scenes on his last day on set. But yeah, again, it was a lot just maintaining that serious attitude on set. That was a pretty serious scene that we were shooting, and we had decided to do it handheld because of how unstable Charles was at that point. And we used the flight of stairs next to my apartment, and we just did several takes just tracking with him. It was really gritty and messy, but it just really fit the mood. I just started having all these like bouts of inspiration. I was like, what if we try this? What if we try that? And so we got shots through the rails, and we got all these different angles, and it was just really interesting, like as that being one of like the last things we shot with Nathan, just really capturing that mood. But I really love what we did get, and yeah, super happy with how those shots turned out.
I'm good.
You did it!
Oh, I get hugs, okay.
Yes!
What is this, Marco?
This is Charles's or Nathan's martini shot. This is the end of his pickups, and help.
The end.
Dude, I need
Goodbye.
Hey, come back here.
Goodbye.
One of the main points and one of the beauties of this film is touching on mental health, and especially as society is changing and evolving, it is becoming more accepted and more encouraged to speak about your feelings and to speak about your struggles. And I think that is one of the main, most important, if not one of the only important topics to take away from this is it's okay to not be okay, you know, and it's okay to ask for help. And I'm one of the people that is still learning that, is asking people for help and talking about the struggles in your life. And you're not the only one going through these times. People have done it before, and people will continue to go through these difficult times. And to just be there and have that community of people is something that is definitely needed, and it will definitely help on a journey in progression to become a better person. So that is key for me.
Hey, guess what? What's that? That? It's yours.
Mary.
Oh no.
So we got through filming, and we ended up with, it was about 16 terabytes of footage.
4 hard drives.
We had a stack of them like this tall. And then you and Andrew, our editor, just sat in the edit bay for the next semester and a half while being full-time students.
Almost. We may want to wait for just a second, maybe go back to him, and then she says, I know, like let that linger.
So he hears her say, I know?
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
No. So he sits in the car, then she says, as he turns on the car, I know, and pulls away, I'm sorry.
I see.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's almost perfect. Dude. My stomach's churning right now watching this. What was the hardest thing about cutting that?
It was pretty consistent throughout. Like there wasn't a whole lot of discontinuity besides like when she like turns around or something. But most of it was like knowing who the story was about and like who I wanted to focus on for this scene. I mean, there's a lot of heartbreak, so you do want to focus mostly on him and his face, but there's a lot of like really heavy lines that she throws at him where you have to kind of show her for it. You don't want to just show his reaction to everything because some of the lines that she's saying, you can't believe it's coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
So I do want to show her saying it, but at the same time, like his reaction shots are just incredible. So it's hard to like know when
to cut away,
when to leave it and let it hit you really hard and like just let you mess with it.
So before we jump back in, actually, Andrew, tell me a little bit about what was your thought process of making this scene?
This scene, I wanted the audience to not really know what they're going into. We just, at this point, we think that Elizabeth is just come down with some like food poisoning, and in the previous scene you see her in the car and she looks pretty hesitant to go in, and we don't really know exactly why at this point. So at this scene later on she looks this way, like the reason why she looks so frozen right now. As the scene plays out, you're gonna realize what's going on in her head, but like the audience has no idea why she looks this way.
Yeah. Well, let's watch it. Do you mind hitting play for me, man?
Sure.
Charles, I don't want you around my family anymore.
Come on. This is Thanksgiving. Can't we just be a family on this day?
You have brought nothing but chaos into our family.
Elizabeth is no longer going to school.
She is lying to us and she's never told me before. Say your goodbyes and leave.
Eyes, dude, I love it.
I want you to leave now.
No.
She's not going to. Elizabeth, you're still.
Honey, we'll do whatever is best for you.
Dad, can we just calm down?
Oh, snap.
Get out!
Oh, dang. Oh, wow. Oh, it's messing with me so much right now.
Sir, you are her father. I am her husband.
Hold on, Charles. Don't cut away the
And
first
she is my wife.
This is the voiceover that needs to be added here. I love how this was an inserted shot. It became a shot. Oh, that look. Oh, the payoff.
Yeah, he's hopeful, but.
Oh. Look to her dad. Yes, yes. Oh, and he's not looking at her. Oh, dude, what a tense moment. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. The dancing of the eyes, literally, that's the strength of this scene so much. It will need to be refined a lot, but what we have there is, I think, one of the strongest scenes in the film. Cut and really, really well done.
Thank you.
So we picked up with Sarah at the concert scene. Previously, we had not scheduled our pianist, who also was our composer, to be with us until later that day. And so in September, we shot the mirror shot. So we originally had only shot in principal photography. Nathan, Thomas, and Natalie's responses or visual reaction to what was happening on stage. So this was the opposite of that. We shot Jordan and Sarah on stage.
Speeding. Go ahead.
Scene 9A, take 1, marker.
Good slate.
Camera set?
Camera is set.
Okay.
So I had showed up at the very beginning of shooting because I wanted to meet the actors and see what was going on and all of that. And then I had a cameo during the concert scene in the film. And so I showed up on the last weekend of shooting, and I have a neat little cameo in there. You'll see I did have the beard, and I had a man bun that was long hair pulled back.
Hey, Andy.
Yes.
Can you turn off that one? Yeah, perfect.
This is how you become a true classical musician.
Clearly.
Good slate.
And music video.
Go ahead. It's all yours, Andy.
Camera
And
set.
action.
During all of principal photography, the necklace that Sarah had worn had gone missing. Our production designer, Emily, had to come up with a quick look-alike for the day's shoot. And in the final product, you can't even tell that they're two different pieces of jewelry that Sarah was wearing.
Say hi, Sarah.
Hi! Oh my
Climbs
God.
on the piano.
Yes.
Flattering.
Such a flattering. Oh my God! That's you right there.
Oh, hi, Robert.
That's so funny.
All right, here we go again. Hold on.
This is the last time I get to check.
Hey.
Oh, that's so good.
That's it.
Oh my
That's
God,
it.
it's so cute.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we need to adjust Robert and
Rob.
Jordan. See how it's not a perfect circle?
Oh my God.
It was also a wonderful moment with the cast and crew. This was our final time to see Sarah, and we were starting to feel that pinch of, we're losing this family we built, and we were losing this time that we had set down and, worked on these characters. All right, that's a wrap officially on Rubaru. Andy, thoughts?
I'm gonna sleep for a year.
I probably have it.
Just right here.
Just never getting up. Yeah, of course.
All right.
You did this to me.
You are wonderful. I haven't hugged you yet today. I'll hug you after I set this down.
Camera first.
Yes.
But when we did sit down to all watch it cut together, I think it was something like 3 hours or some ungodly length. And I mean, it was really cool to see some of the scenes we shot. And some of them were really fun and really good. And other stuff was just, needed to go. And then we had to I had to figure out how to say that in a way that was constructive. Because it's really hard, and I know this when you're a director, to show your work for the first time in a very raw assembly edit that still has lots of things to fix. It's just draft one, right? So through post-production, every couple weeks we would have kind of a screening for the team. So it would usually be myself and Marco. Emma was a really fantastic voice in those meetings, our editor or other trusted creative friends. And we would watch the movie and we would make notes and we would say, write down what we thought about these scenes here, here, and here, take time code notes and all that. And so we did that for, every couple of weeks, I think throughout a lot of the editorial process until we were getting pretty close to picture lock. And then we did a couple focus group screenings. So we tried to gather, friends and some friends from outside of school, as many as we could, bribe and plead with to watch our film, to come sit down in the screening room, and we sent them a questionnaire after, just because we were starting to realize then, the second year of school, kind of how much more we knew we didn't know. And we knew enough to know that we needed to get more feedback on the cut. We needed to test, how different scenes played for different audiences, right? Because this was something that wasn't just meant for us. We wanted to show it with people. And when you're in it and you're in the trenches and you're in the edit bay, or even just for Emma or myself, just watching it every couple of weeks, you sort of get blinded to, you sort of become blind to both its strengths and its weaknesses. You're just too in it. And so showing it to focus groups and showing it to other friends kind of gave us that gut check and that fresh perspective, just to make sure we were making progress and doing what we needed to do to make the story as compelling as it could be. And so when you open yourself up for feedback like that, I mean, sometimes it can hurt in a good way, but you can't, let ego stand in the way of that. I mean, we had one person point blank tell us, hey, this needs a rewrite from page 1. Like, I don't watch movies like this, not interested. It's like, that's really good to know.
Andrew Daughters and I spent so much time working on the edit, and we really got to a solid place where we locked picture. And we sent it off to Jordan for composition, just to give him as much ample time before we would need to move on. Just spent 12 hours in an editing bay, locked inside and dying. So, yeah, we have our tentative picture lock. A lot still left to do, but on the whole, we're done. We finished it. We're getting ready for sound, ready for ADR, a number of different things left, but yeah. Rubaru the movie, coming out 2019. Woo woo.
And one of the things that got me into wanting to make movies was, always the behind the scenes stuff. Right? I think that's true for a lot of us in film, and especially, everyone loves those behind the scenes moments of Foley artists. When you take household objects and you fake the sounds of, actors' clothing rustling or footsteps, or the sounds props make. And so we did a little bit of that on Rubaru.
It was just so much fun just going through the film and just cherry picking different scenes that needed the crunching sound.
There's a reason why people do it on big movies, and it really does bring a lot of the world alive. So we got different types of shoes, we got different floor samples from Home Depot, different grass textures, different rocks and things, and
or needed certain hugs and beats and body hits and different things that Andy and I were able to record also with Ellie as well. And it was just a fun thing that you don't think about as a subconscious viewer, but putting together the pieces of a film, every sound, every click, every noise, every footstep, every footfall has to be intentional. Otherwise, you're just leaving it to random chance.
I would sit there, with my hands in the shoes, watching the computer and do this, trying to time it to every step that the actors took. Or we would put on a piece of costume and watch what the actor was doing and try to mimic that movement. And it was a lot of fun.
Action. Back it up and do it again.
So as we were going through editorial, we kind of knew right away there are a few key scenes we had to redo, dialogue and ADR. So we logged those, and then we had to make some harder decisions about, okay, do we try to clean this up as best we can? Can we put music here to hide some of it, or do we need to gut it and do it from scratch? You can't really ADR some lines in a scene and keep the original stuff. That's sometimes harder because then you have to make it match. So a lot of the time it was, do we completely ADR it or do we just clean it up? We sort of had to make that black or white decision.
You know what? I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah, extremely happy. I can't even begin to tell you how I feel. I mean... No.
Okay, and...
Marco, myself, Robert, Chloe, we were all learning how to do ADR in class, a few weeks before we actually had to do it. And so these were our first ADR sessions we were running. We had to know all the tech, and then we had to figure out how to schedule them. And you don't know how long an actor is going to take to get comfortable in a scene. So I kind of erred on the safe side and blocked out huge chunks of time for everyone who had to come in. But the actors did fantastic with it. I mean, some of them just clicked with it right away, and it was kind of uncanny hearing and seeing them act to themselves. And I think a lot of them had fun with it. It was definitely awkward at first, and some of them had to take a few takes to get into it, and then you sort of find that rhythm.
Don't resent, just curious, that's all.
All right, number 2.
No reason, just curious, that's all.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, just forget I said anything. Stupid.
All right, we're gonna record this.
Okay.
No pressure. Yeah, let's do this.
Zero pressure. I'm so sorry, forget I said anything. Stupid.
I want to be with you.
Oh,
Just shut up.
that was dumb. Why did I do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Come on, Andy, let's do this.
Oh.
So the last day of ADR was with Nathan, and kind of like the end of principal photography, that was just like, you reach the mountaintop sort of moment. We did it. We have arrived. Now we can go sleep. Or in this case, we needed food.
I had my backpack full of the hard drives. My new laptop had a laptop die on us fairly recently. And we decided to go celebrate. We went out and ate.
And so I backed up what we did that day. I think all the other sound we had on that drive at the time. Put it to the cloud. And then we just exhaled. It's like, we did it. So we go get food. I think it was midnight or close to 1 in the morning. And where do you go when you're a college student and it's 1 in the morning? You go to In-N-Out, right? So we packed up our bags, our backpacks, drove around the block, went to In-N-Out, went inside, got our food, ate pretty quickly. I don't think we were in there any longer than 15 or 20 minutes. And so we came back out with our food, and the car was parked right across from the main entrance. And I come around the side of the corner and I see pieces of glass on the asphalt. And everything sort of starts going in slow motion, kind of like a movie scene. And we all look up at the window and it's shattered. There's like no glass there, just some crumbles on the corners. And we look in and there's glass all over the seat and there's nothing else there. And I just, well, I really feel bad for our friend's car. This sucks. We're like, oh, okay, we'll replace the window. Come on, LA. And then I think Marco said, oh, my backpack was in there. And then and then it started to dawn on me what that meant. It's like, oh man. Yeah, so we realized his backpack's gone. And then I think I asked, wait, Marco, what was in the backpack? And he's like, oh, my computer, my headphones, like some school notebooks, and all of our hard drives from the movie. Yeah.